All right, good evening, everyone. If we can, everyone please have a seat. It's currently 6:01. We'll go ahead and start tonight's meeting. Let's go ahead and please take roll.
Commissioner Lede,
Present.
Commissioner Calandra, Commissioner Diaz, Commissioner Kreiner,
Present.
Commissioner Shergill,
Present.
Vice Chair Bray,
Here.
Chair Vane.
Here, thank you. We're going to go ahead and do our Pledge of Allegiance. Everyone, if you can, please stand. Ready? Begin. I'll now go ahead and read the procedures for tonight's meeting. This meeting is being conducted in person and electronically. For each matter considered by the Commission, there will first be a staff presentation, followed by a presentation for the project applicant. Testimony from supporters of the project will then be taken, followed by a testimony from those in opposition. The applicant will have the right to a final rebuttal presentation prior to closing the public hearing. In accordance with Section 13 of Article 2 of the Planning Commission Rules and Regulations governing length of public debate, all public testimony from those in support and in opposition of the project will be limited to 3 minutes per person. The 3 lights on the podium next to the microphone will indicate the amount of time remaining for the speaker. The green light will be turned on when the speaker begins. The yellow light will come on with the soft bell ring when 1 minute is remaining. The speaker should be completed in testimony by the time the red light comes on with the final bell indicating time has expired. All in-person public testimony must be presented to the Commission at the podium. Any testimony that references race, religion, ethnicity, economic status, national origin, or any other classification protected under state or federal law in a derogatory manner should be deemed irrelevant and will not be considered by the Commission in making its land use determinations. If you challenge these land use matters in court, you may be limited to raising only those issues you or someone else raised in oral or written testimony or before the close of the hearing. Next, we have the agenda. Do we have any changes to the agenda?
Good evening, Chair Vang, members of the Planning Commission. My name is Rob Holt, Supervising Planner with Planning and Development. Staff has no changes to the agenda.
Thank you, sir. Do we have any commissioners who need to make any comment, want to make any comment, or any motions to approve the agenda?
Move to approve the agenda.
Second.
All right, so we have a motion made by Vice Chair Bray. We have a second by Commissioner Kreiner. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say no. Motion's approved. So under consent calendar, we do have 2 items. We have meeting minutes from September 3rd, 2025, and then we also have the consideration of an update to Planning Commission Rules and Regulations, which was discussed at last meeting. Do we have any comments or motion from the commission to accept the consent calendar? All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Calandra. We have a second by Commissioner Kreiner. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion's approved. Next, we have any reports from the commission?
I just would like to note for item 8A, I saw that there's a letter of support from the Lyles organization, and I have a business relationship, not currently, but I have in the past, so I don't believe that would influence my decision, though.
Thank you. Commissioner.
First of all, I want to thank the community for being here today. I also want to recognize our wonderful Mayor Dyer and our council members for Pay More Now. So you'll see about $100 million of roads getting fixed. We are over $1 billion in default, but this is an amazing thing that is happening to Fresno. So our roads, they got like 60-some%. So finally, the roads are getting fixed. So if there you see a lot of cones and all that good stuff, that's a good thing for Fresno. So once again, thank you to Mayor Dyer, his leadership, our council members as well, and City of Fresno. And then I also would, Chair Vang, I'm going to recuse myself from the West Area plan due to financial conflict because my residence is located in the plan.
Awesome. And then a question for you. Would you be participating with the public too, or?
Yes, as a community member, I will make a comment, but as a community member.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Commissioner Klein?
Yes, thank you, Chair. To each of you that are here today, I do want to make a statement regarding something that Southwest Fresno has been waiting on for a very, very long time. There is the construction of the Starbucks that is being built adjacent to Gaston Middle School. And the reason why it's so significant and important is because in Southwest Fresno, which is considered one of the most disenfranchised community in Fresno, possibly within our state, there's not much that is done when it comes to major construction and major infrastructure that's brought into our community. Starbucks is a very nationally recognized, probably the most nationally recognized companies and businesses in these United States. And West Fresno has not seen anything as major as that since the Food Max was brought in the mid-'90s. The significance of it is huge because you have children, you have kids who are going to school across the street that actually sees business that's coming in their communities and not liquor stores. Currently in Southwest Fresno, 93706 zip code, there's approximately 27 liquor stores in that community alone, with one grocery store, no credit unions, and no significant restaurants or banks or anything of that sort. So, I mean, if you think about one of the greatest movies of all time, The Lion King, you think about one of the major scenes on that is when Mufasa tells Simba to go look at Pride Rock, and Simba looks out and sees the elephant graveyard, and Mufasa tells him you can't go there because of the dark, deserted area and what it represents, which is death. But when at the tail end of the movie, you see that graveyard become a part of Pride Rock. And what people don't understand is that if you don't take care of the most disenfranchised communities, they'll end up becoming graveyards. But when you take care of those communities and invest more in those communities and other parts that already have investment, then those graveyards become something of your pride. So today, I want to salute both our planning commissioners, my chair. I want to salute our city manager, our mayor. I want to salute our council for looking out for the symbols of our community and giving them just as much faith in those graveyards that they would in all the rest of the Pride Rock. So to Fresno, I leave you with this, Hakuna Matata.
Commissioner
Okay.
Leggett?
I would also like to comment. I noticed you said that we were in $1 billion deficit. I want to clarify we are not in a deficit. We did speak to staff about that. They said it would take $1 billion to get the work done for the roads, but we're not in a deficit. So I think that's something that we definitely need to just correct and acknowledge. And then just to follow up with what you were saying, I would like to thank the city attorneys and, of course, the mayor and council for securing the federal funds that were allocated to the city of Fresno from Congress. So I think that is wonderful, and that helps everybody in the community. So congratulations to them, and thank you.
Awesome, thank you. All right, we're going to go ahead and move on to new matters. Before we do, we'll go ahead and go ahead.
Okay, everyone all ready? Great. So hello and good evening, planning commissioners and community members. My name is Casey Lauderdale, and I am a planner on the long-range planning team. I'm happy to be before you here again, this time to formally ask for your recommendations regarding the West Area Neighborhood Specific Plan. Tonight, we'll have a bit of a shorter presentation, but for the benefit of those who may not have seen the workshop earlier this month, I'll still cover some basic background information. I'll conclude by covering public comment and the findings and staff recommendations. So let's jump in. At the workshop, we visited some of the rich history and settlement trends that make the West area unique. And we also discussed some of the issues that have accompanied the growth of this area, such as a lack of transition from urban to rural spaces, missing sidewalks, and roads that narrow and expand as they traverse between city and county. And then we put a spotlight on the residents who came together back in 2017 to lead the way in getting this effort started. The community members and the steering committee made it known through those early years what they wanted to see for their neighborhoods. They envision a West area that has enhanced infrastructure, new development that respects existing ag and rural residential, a diversity of housing stock, more parks and recreational spaces, including a flagship regional park, more commercial centers, and a growing sense of community. I mentioned the ways that we conducted outreach for this project, and we'll cover this again for those here tonight. We tried to reach community members through email, direct mail, flyers, specific plans to go, tabling events, social media, radio announcements. We also had a web page dedicated to the plan, and that is in addition to legal notices and many committee presentations. The steering committee and our community partners like Highway City CDC were also instrumental in getting the word out. And I know that there are steering committee members in the audience tonight, and I want to thank them. For the commission's awareness, we sent another courtesy notice just after the workshop to property owners within the city limits whose land use designation will change as a result of this plan, inviting them to contact us with questions or attend upcoming meetings. We had many opportunities to hear directly from community members through engagement events, including steering committee meetings, community meetings, tabling events, committee presentations, and surveys, in addition to many direct phone calls and emails. The public feedback that we received heavily shaped the plan. The original draft plan received over 30 comment letters with more than 150 discrete comments, requests, and questions. We also received many land use change requests, and we've accommodated a majority of the comments and requests in the plan that's before you today. So shifting to the plan itself, the plan area is located west of 99, north of Clinton Avenue, and east of Garfield Avenue, and it is represented by Council Districts 1, 2, and 3. Here on this slide, we have some of the significant milestones in the plan, starting with the previous planning efforts like the Highway City Neighborhood Specific Plan and the West Area Community Plan. The West Area Neighborhood Specific Plan process was officially kicked off in 2018 with the first meeting of the steering committee. The following year, the land use map was initiated by the City Council, and the plan and EIR were developed after that. In 2022, the plan and EIR were brought before the Planning Commission, but prior to going to City Council, we were asked to make some revisions to the land use map, which I'll explain in more detail in a bit, and this required an update to the EIR, which started thereafter. We are now ready to bring back the updated plan and EIR for adoption. Commissioner Calandra, you had this question at the workshop about what will happen to the older plans. As part of the package of actions, we are proposing to repeal the West Area Community Plan and a portion of the Highway City Neighborhood Specific Plan where it overlaps, and you can see that on the screen in the hatch mark. So the part that is solid will remain. And I mentioned that we carried forward policies from each of these plans into the new plan, and how that happened is documented in Exhibit O of the staff report. In the earlier phases of the planning process, the steering committee developed 20 guiding principles for the plan that fit under the topics of transportation, parks and trails, agriculture, retail, housing, catalytic corridors, education, and public safety. 4 chapters of the plan contain goals and policies to enact the guiding principles, and you can see on the screen how the chapters correlate with the guiding principle topics. So the chapters that contain the goals and policies are the Infrastructure and Public Realm chapter, the Public Facilities chapter, and the Land Use and Housing chapter. And as an example of connecting the two, one of the guiding principles in the transportation topic is accommodate planned transit services in the West area by locating routes near or adjacent to the community centers, schools, parks, and retail centers, and an implementation goal in Chapter 3, IPR 1.8, is to expand transit services in the West area as development occurs by locating routes near or adjacent to civic centers, schools, public parks, and retail centers, and explore feasibility to create a West area downtown connector route. This plan also includes an implementation chapter with its own policies and a multi-page table of all the goals and policies with suggested measurement criteria, and that is to be used as a tool for community members and decision makers to help check in on its implementation. One of the primary implementation tools is the land use map, because the land use designations tie into what is allowed to be built where. Here on the screen is the original map that was voted on by the steering committee and initiated by the City Council in 2019. Later in 2022, the Council directed 2 changes. One was to mitigate the loss of important farmland in the same manner that the general plan does, and 2 is to add housing capacity to the land use map such that it would not cause a net loss of capacity. Part of the reason the original map had a loss of housing capacity was because it was aligned to follow a transect model of urban development, where density and intensity is highest at the urban core, downtown, and lowest on the periphery, where ag and natural landscapes exist. The general plan, however, has more of a multinodal approach to urban development, with density and intensity focused on multiple activity centers throughout the city, with the primary activity center being downtown. This is why in the general plan land use map, you have higher intensity land uses somewhat scattered throughout the plan area. The 2019 map essentially took the node concept and applied it instead to the creation of catalytic corridors in the plan area. The map represented a moderate level of change from the general plan, a more logical urban to rural transition, density relocated along the catalytic corridors while keeping the plan for a mixed-use town center along Shaw Avenue. This photo here shows Lancaster Boulevard as an example, but locally you might think of a slightly higher density Olive Avenue in the Tower District as a street that serves as the center of a neighborhood. And there are 6 catalytic corridors that are designated in the plan area. Here is today's version of the land use map, which was updated to ensure no net loss of housing capacity. And how this was done was by keeping higher densities along Shaw Avenue and increasing some densities along the other catalytic corridors. And this approach allows the map to retain the vision of the transect model of growth. In this updated map, the location for the potential regional park was shifted to the east and aligned with the future Herndon Canal and Power Line trails. So next, we'll recap some information about the plan's Environmental Impact Report, or EIR. So as I mentioned before, due to the changes in the land use map, we did decide to recirculate the entire EIR last spring, and we received 8 new comment letters. The final EIR, which contains the responses to those letters, was posted to the plan's webpage on September 19th and is included as an exhibit to the staff report. The EIR analyzed 15 potential areas of impact and concluded significant and unavoidable impacts in 5 areas. In each area where there is a potential impact, mitigation measures are used to help reduce the extent of those impacts. So since our workshop, we have received some public comments, which are included in the record as supplemental Exhibit R. And just to summarize what we received, we had 6 comments expressing support for the adoption of the plan, 1 comment letter from a property owner expressing support, in particular for the proposed land use change for their property. We had 3 letters from property owners or representatives requesting that the existing general plan land use be kept for their properties. And we had 2 letters and 1 verbal comment requesting a different proposed land use. And I know some of the property owners are in the audience today, so I'm sure you'll hear from more details on that when we have public comment. A preliminary analysis of the land use change request was provided in the handout given to you tonight. So moving on to our last section, which is findings and staff recommendations, I will start with findings. And findings are presented for the Fresno Municipal Code, the housing element, and SB 330. Staff finds that the plan is consistent with the Fresno Municipal Code as it will create a concurrent amendment to the general plan figures LU-1 and LU-2 to ensure land use consistency. We also find it will help implement many objectives in the general plan's elements as detailed in Exhibit K, and furthermore, it does not conflict with the development code. For the housing element findings, while the plan overall creates a gain of housing capacity, there is going to be a loss on the specific housing element sites within the plan area as shown on this table. However, because the remaining sites identified in the housing element are adequate to accommodate the city's share of the regional housing needs allocation, we can find that the plan is consistent with the housing element. Lastly, because there is an overall gain of housing capacity in the plan area, we can find the plan consistent with the Housing Crisis Act of 2019, or SB 330. So we are at the last segment of the presentation, which is staff's recommendations, and for time, I'll summarize each of the 5 recommendations, but your staff report will have the full text. The first is to recommend approval to the City Council of the Environmental Impact Report, the Mitigation Monitoring and Reporting Program, and the findings of fact and overriding considerations with the incorporation of 2 technical corrections. The first technical correction responds to a request from Central Unified to recognize their property as public facility, so we have updated the plan land use for that APN accordingly. The second is to fix an existing incongruity between the general plan planned land use and zoning for APN 442-06033. And here we have changed the specific plan planned land use to residential urban neighborhood to match the existing zoning. These updates are further described in the staff report, and we have already reflected them in the land use maps, but we would like to ask that they are formally incorporated in your recommendations tonight. Second is to recommend approval to the Council of the plan amendment to repeal the West Area Community Plan and overlapping portion of the Highway City Neighborhood Specific Plan. Third is to recommend approval to the Council of the plan amendment to adopt the West Area Neighborhood Specific Plan and Plan Land Use Map. 4 is to recommend approval to the Council of the plan amendment to update the general plan planned land use map and dual designation diagram to be consistent with the specific plan planned land use map. And 5 is to recommend approval to the Council of the rezone application to rezone properties to be consistent with the specific plan land use map. That concludes my presentation. And thank you so much for your time, and we look forward to hearing comments from the public as well as your comments and questions.
Question for you. For those individuals who would like to keep the current zoning, is that going to have like any kind of potential impact like in that area? Like, is it going to be an anomaly, or is it going to make it difficult for any kind of future development in that area too?
For requests that have a change that differs from the specific planned land use map, that it potentially could have an impact on the plan. Mostly we're looking at housing capacity changes, and then there could be some additional environmental analysis that's needed.
Questions? Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and go out to the public. We're going to first open this for any individuals who would like to speak in support. Okay, so this is for any individuals who would like to speak in support. Please approach the microphone, state your name, address, and you have 3 minutes.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Maria Spera, and I'm a planner with Dirk Puschel Land Development Services. Our office is located at 923 Van Ness Avenue, and I'm also a resident of the West Area Specific Plan, so it works perfectly for me. We are in support of this plan and all of the changes. We are representing a client at the moment who's going to be who's proposing a shopping center at the southeast corner of Ashland and Blythe. And it's a very much needed services that he's proposing, especially in our area. I've been living there for many, many years, and just to see it grow and to see this positive impact that it's going to bring into that area, we're in support of it. So,
Thank you.
thank you.
Do we have the next individual? Please state your name, address, and you have 3 minutes.
Hi, Commissioners. Good evening. My name is April Henry, and I serve as the Executive Director, CEO with Highway City Community Development and the T Community Resource Center. I also live and work in the area. Thank you for your time and your commitment for giving this thought process for guiding Fresno's growth. I'm here tonight to urge your support for advancing the West Area Neighborhood Specific Plan. Our community has waited decades for investment. I've lived there over 25, for infrastructure and for real opportunities, and 7 years just for this specific plan. We too, Commissioner Kreiner, feel the disinvestment. Too often, West Fresno has been left behind while other parts of the city move forward. This specific plan represents not just another document, but a long overdue commitment to fairness and equity. The need is real. In the West Area, families live with the lack of transportation and mobility options, poor infrastructure that our neighbors north of us or in Clovis would never face. I alone would have to walk almost 3 miles to the closest bus stop. From our center that we run, we knew that if we didn't put a library in there, it takes an hour and a half for a mom to be able to get to the next closest library. So these services are critical. There's one doctor in our area. We are missing basic sidewalks for children. We've actually done an infrastructure audit. It's over 30 miles of city annexed area. For them to walk safely to school, for street lighting to keep families safe at night, major road repairs that have been deferred for far too long, accessible bus stops that could connect our residents to jobs and health care. Because obviously that one doctor for 55,000 residents is not quite enough. The estimated need to address these critical infrastructure gaps is almost $100 million. That number may sound daunting, but it also represents an incredible opportunity. By advancing this plan, you're creating the framework to finally attract resources, prioritize equity, and ensure that West Fresno receives the same investment has been promised for decades. This is about restoring trust for our community, building safety, and giving children the same chance to thrive. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now, one doctor must have a good business. Huh.
Go ahead. My name is Erica Leonard. I am a Tower District homeowner, so I don't live in the area at issue here. And so many of us in the Tower recognize that for Fresno to thrive, all of us need to be thriving, all neighborhoods. And so we know that when West Fresno is thriving, we're better off as well. It's hard to visit with our friends in West Fresno and see what the sidewalks or lack of sidewalks are like, and visit our friends in North Fresno and try to justify the disparity that we see. When I listen to my friends in West Fresno, a community that I don't live in, I hear them saying that they have been fighting for this for years. Now is the time. It's community-driven, and it's resident-focused, and I urge you to move this forward. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Please state your name, address, and you have 3 minutes.
Okay. I'm Kathy Caples. I represented District 2 on the West Area Specific Plan Committee, and I live at 7232 West Dovewood. Please vote again to advance the West Area Plan to the City Council with the goal of shifting this area from forgotten to the new future included in this document. Since 2018, city planners worked with residents to create complete community plans with space for all that was needed for healthy and safe living. Although the plan was shelved, the residents embraced it, and we have continued to oppose projects that don't align with it during this time. The plan has several ideas for complete communities, but I'm going to focus on the north side of the Shaw Urban Corridor. Written into the plan is a dual designation for a regional park, and that was the area that was selected by the EIR. And as I talk about it, I want you to think about an outside-the-box park, not no fence. It's a living space, and it has a shape in our vision that is a little bit different that's on the plan, but I think in working through, it should be worked out. But for many of us that walk on the trail or pass by this undeveloped land, we envision a vibrant, multi-purpose neighborhood where housing seamlessly integrates with retail businesses and essential community services. The housing would overlook an expansive regional park created on both sides of the Barstow to Shaw Canal, offering residents living in urban housing a functional, enjoyable green space. The vision emphasizes healthcare, healthy food, adult education, and recreation. Suggestions from the community included a fitness and art trail, tennis and basketball courts, agricultural-themed playgrounds, community center, and amphitheater. Pedestrians, bridges over Veterans and Shaw will enhance safety, and underground parking will optimize land use. I know I'm over time. I'm sorry. I hope you'll let me go. Imagine taking a leisurely walk along that trail and sitting on a patio facing a tree-covered park at a local restaurant and enjoying the atmosphere without paved roads in the midst of it. The gateway to Fresno development would also position us as a destination, fostering job growth and economic development. We thought about reviving the old downtown farmers market right along Parkway across from the Island Water Park, where people come off at Veterans, they can go on in Shaw, vice versa, and have our products and culture of our communities highlighted. Some believe this vision is too ambitious and costly, but similar developments are happening all over the state of California. I also just want to say one last thing.
That's
Abraham Lincoln said the best way to predict the future is to create it, and I know this community is ready to make that happen. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We have the next individual. And please remember too, when you hear that first bell, that just means you have 1 minute left. Okay. That's the first light on the bill.
I got you. Hi. Thank you for letting me talk here. My name is Al Martinez. I'm the board chair at the Highway City Community Development Center. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your interest. I just wanted to highlight one thing. I'm trying to pinpoint in my head, but within the last 3 to 5 years, we've got a nomenclature put on this side of town, Forgotten Fresno. If moving forward, it can't be forgotten anymore. It's a choice. So I urge everybody to reevaluate things, to lean in and to lock arms with us over here, to help us get us out of forgotten, to help us thrive. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Do we have the next individual? Again, this is to speak in support. Please state your name, address, and you have 3 minutes.
My name is Nandeep Singh. I lived at 3290 North Berlin Avenue, Fresno, California, 93722. I'm a resident of the West Area Specific Plan. I'm also, I serve as the Central Unified Board President as well as the Executive Director of the Jakara Movement. I come before you, respected planning commissioners, some friendly faces, but really to speak on behalf of this and the importance of this West Area Plan. I was part of the commission that worked on this, and in some ways saw this got shelved for a number of different years. But here's an opportunity for the Planning Commission and ultimately to take it, to advance it to the city, really to, as you've heard from so many residents, prioritize this particular region that has long since felt forgotten. But here's an opportunity for us to create a Fresno that everyone wants. We want a vibrant Fresno. We want a green Fresno. We want a livable Fresno. We want an inclusive Fresno. We can start that here with the West Area, and really thank you to all the community members out here tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Please state your name, address, and you have 3 minutes.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Daniel Brannick. I'm a member of the Board of Directors of the Highway City Community Development Corporation. I attended John Steinbeck Elementary and Central High School in the West area, and I'm still out there most Sundays to eat dinner with my parents. I spend a lot of time and I care deeply about the area. I was here before you in 2022, and I'm here again, probably saying a lot of the same things. I just want to give a tremendous thanks to city staff for the effort they put into creating the plan, the outreach process, the hearing and understanding what people in the West area want and need, and then developing a plan with policies and a vision that lives up to it. Thanks to the steering committee members, one of them is your fellow commissioner, others in the audience for putting in the time now, sticking in with what the efforts they put in. So many people in the room today who aren't residents of the West area or have ties, who see the vision or are supporting this effort. This plan was asked to do a lot, as I think alluded to in that presentation, promote growth and development, but preserve the rural and agricultural landscapes and traditions and heritage that people feel exist. Work for residents, work for developers, reconciling very diverse interests that reflect the diversity of the community. And this, it's a daunting challenge, but this plan does that. The 3 biggest things that I think I'm most excited about, looking forward to, are bridging the gaps in infrastructure and transportation connectivity, rectifying the historically piecemeal pattern of development that plagues the West area and everybody is aware of. Also adding park and recreational space in an area that's been really starved for it. I lived down the street from, growing up from where Dolores Huerta Park is now. I would have loved to have had that, 30 odd years ago when I was a kid and could have enjoyed it, and it's great that it's happening now, but I frankly don't want other people in the community now, to have to long the way that I did and my friends did. Also just promoting development of missing community-level businesses and amenities that create a sense of place and help foster connections within the community, building on what we already have. This plan can't do it all. It can't do it all at once, but it's such a tremendous step in the right direction. And it's due time for a community that has continuously been patient, resilient, and hopeful for them to see its aspirations come to fruition. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Do we have the next individual who would like to speak in support?
Went to sleep. All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Gurdeep Singh Shergill, a resident of 5317 West Terrace Avenue in Fresno, 93722. I'm here as a community member and a San Unified School District educator to support this plan. Sometimes when the community is in multiple districts, sometimes it gets forgotten. District 1, District 2, District 3. There are 3 council members that represent west of 99. And still, we have been forgotten for multiple years, like pretty much feels like forever. And in that area, there are many, many languages that are spoken. It's a multilingual community, multicultural community. In the past, if we read history of Fresno, that particular area has been redlined for many years. So this is the time that we correct the mistakes from the past. Forgotten Fresno, people call it. So let's make sure it is not forgotten anymore. It's a business and medical desert, I call it. Like, it's very hard to find businesses like, for example, like a Food Max. I'm not talking about liquor stores. I'm talking about a nice grocery store where people could go and visit and buy their stuff. Clinton and 99, there are a lot of unhoused community members. Please visit that place sometimes and look at it. Clinton and 99, I think we also need to support that community as well. Many years of community input. This plan, a lot of people have put their time, their sweat. Now is the time to approve this plan, to make Fresno a city of choice with the hashtag OneFresnoLove. Well-planned area equals successful use of area for residential and businesses. Once we have a well-planned, this is like, as teachers, we call lesson plan. This is like our lesson plan. If the lesson plan is great, our students will learn. Same thing with the city. This is a plan with a vision. So it is time to do the right thing. And once again, I'm going to say, a lot of my community members call it forgotten Fresno. We are not forgotten anymore. Our voices will be heard because this is the house of people. City Hall belongs to the public. Central Unified School District, City of Fresno, County of Fresno, we must collaborate as a community with the community. Please support this plan so we are not forgotten anymore. It is time to do the right thing and correct the mistakes from the past. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. I do appreciate your passion. Please state your name, address, and you have 3 minutes.
Hi, my name is Rhonda Dewick. I'm from the Jackson neighborhood. I live at 3401 East Huntington Boulevard, Fresno 93702. So obviously I don't live in this neighborhood, but I am 100% convinced that when we talk about one Fresno, that means the entire city of Fresno. And it's important for us to understand that our thriving is interconnected and our demise is also interconnected. So we need to be about the thriving that all of our neighborhoods in Fresno can be thriving. We need to shift our mentality from being a competition and a kind of a perspective of there not being enough to saying there is enough if we all work together and we all believe that everybody deserves to have a fabulous neighborhood. Please support this.
Thank you. Any other individuals who would like to speak in support? Please state your name, address, and you have 3 minutes.
My name is Navdeep Kaur, and I live at 5608 North Olinda Avenue, 93723. And I am here to say that I'm in support of the West area. And also, there's a request too here for, it says like to be against parks or to like cut out park. The park discussion has been happening with our community on the west side for like over a year. Last year we were all discussing, so we are in support of the park and we do not support this request number 2. So please keep the park in our areas.
All right, any other individuals who like to speak in support? Please state your name, address, and you have 3 minutes.
Hi, my name is Harman Singh. I live at 5608 North Olinda Avenue, 93723. I am in 100% support of the West Area Plan. My only problem with this specific plan is request number 2. I think it's a huge shame that we are not a city that is full of parks, full of green space for residents. If a space in our city has been designated for a park, and that too without harm to the owner, because they can, as in the responses by the city, they can also have dual designations, not only for the park, but also for whatever else they want to build. I think that the city should take the opportunity, the Planning Commission should take the opportunity to at least designate some spaces in our, especially the west area. There's maybe a handful of parks. The closest one to me is Inspiration Park. The next one is like 5 miles away. So, and nothing is walkable in that area. The west side deserves walkable spaces. We deserve green spaces. And we hope you'll support the west plan with the park designation for a regional size park. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, any other individuals who would like to speak in support? All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and, okay. Please state your name, address, and you have 3 minutes.
Hello, good evening. My name is Indrajit Singh, and I work with the Jakara movement, and I live at their Brawley and Griffith Avenue, Ashland and 99, and there I have 2-3 concerns, so I'm talking about those ones. So those area, Griffith and Brawley, those areas very empty area, homelessness, so we are scared from them. So no people is sometime maybe 2-3 days ago. So there have some theft over there, too much big problem. And I have 2-3 suggestions. So there have a stoplight. There is a green arrow. So there are sometimes red arrows. They are blinking is yellow one. So their traffic is go too quick, and that is the concern. So thank you so much to give me time.
Yeah, not a problem. So you do support the plan, but you would like to see some of those adjustments then?
Yeah, I not properly. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, okay, perfect. Good evening. Please state your name, address, and you have 3 minutes.
Good evening. My name is Gurminder Sangha. My address is 7211 West Oswego Avenue, Fresno, California, 93723. I've been living in the neighborhood since 2006, and I've kind of seen the patches going up and down, but there's no contiguous kind of growth plan that is kind of for West Fresno. And then also, we don't want 99 to be the kind of redlining kind of, hey, it's the west side of the Fresno, so we need to make sure that we invest in those communities. And also, we need to start thinking about bringing some other facility like hospitals into that area and offices, because we have to go to Clovis and all the way to Cedar to get all those services that we deserve on the west side. And then recently, when Madera shut down, hospital shut down, we had to travel. So again, there are so many things that we need in West Fresno. We need to really think about a contiguous services and support for our students. And also, I'm the vice president of the Sikh Institute that is also in the same area on Parkway. We don't even have a bus stand outside. I see students standing outside. So we really need to take a deeper look at how to bring those services to our students. And also, as walkways are mentioned previously, the bike lanes were mentioned previously. So we need to really start investing in West Fresno. Let's not ignore it. So really appreciate your time. Really appreciate the time you put into it. And let's make Fresno the one Fresno. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. All right, any other individuals who would like to speak in support? All right, so I'll go ahead and go to the public. Any individuals who would like to speak in opposition? This is your chance to speak. Hello, please state your name, address, and you have 3 minutes.
Good evening, members of the commission. My name is Rod DeLuca, 3840 West Alluvial, Fresno, California. I'm not against the West Side plan, but I am against the city of Fresno putting my property a park, 20 acres, and it's all developed next to me. Sewer, water, it's all ready. I'm too old to develop it, but I've had inquiries. Now, I don't know how I can sell that property with a green belt over it. I mean, it's a park. What are they going to do? They got to go to the city, then the city tell them, well, put your map and everything in, and then you'll deal with parks. Who wants to go through all that trouble? It's enough trouble now to get even a building permit, let alone I'm glad I don't subdivide it. I subdivided 18 subdivisions, and I'm glad I don't do it anymore. It's too hard. But anyway, my attorney and my partner, I inherited him. His father was my partner. When he passed, he became my partner. Okay.
Good evening. My name is Mike Chilpegian. I live at 4338 North Van Ness, Fresno, 93704. I am the attorney for the owners of the property in question. Our property is, the address is 6277 West Shaw, and the APN number is 512-03203. And so I'm one of the owners along with Mr. DeLuca, and there's other owners that own this property. It's 20 acres on Shaw and near Hayes. And the new land use designation is moving the park onto our property. So I've submitted some written objections that I think you've been provided. The only thing I would add to those objections is that we don't think there's adequate reason to move the location of the park. That's number one. Number two is we don't think it's realistic to have a park that straddles Shaw, the catalytic corridor. It's, traffic, public safety, the expense, all of those factors, the environmental, all of those factors need to be considered with a park that straddles Shaw, such one of our busiest streets in Fresno. And then finally, we think our property is best used for housing. Like Mr. DeLuca said, there's housing very, very close to us. All the infrastructure is there, and we think it's better used for housing. And by changing our land use designation, that would discourage the housing that could go on our property.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next individual would like to speak in opposition. Please state your name, address, and you have 3 minutes.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mandeep Singh, lives on 8645 Goddard Drive, Fresno, California. Speaking on behalf of Palvinder Singh, the owner of parcels 151002278 and 510022279. In the West Area Neighborhood Specific Plan, the plan is intending to convert 2 properties from community commercial to RM2. Although I do not object to converting from commercial to residential, however, it is a high-density zoning and needs much more capital to build, but would like to develop RM1 zoning, allowing a less expensive project that would be soon pursued. Thank you. Any questions?
Can you go ahead and can you provide me with the parcel number, the APN number again?
It's 510-02278 and 510-02279.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Yeah. All right, any other individuals like to speak in opposition? Good evening. Please state your name, address, 3 minutes.
Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, my name is Jeff Roberts. Mailing address is P.O. Box 483, Community of Friant, California 93626. I'm here, I'm in an awkward position here. I'm very much in favor of the adoption of this plan. I served on the committee for, I think it was 5 years, in 2017 to 2022. I have one specific request this evening, and that's really all I have. Other than that, I'm totally in favor of the plan. So I need to state, again, I was on the committee and served, here it is, there we go. I did serve and was very active on the committee on a variety of things, and there's a lot of letters in your packet that I think I authored several years back. So again, in favor, but with one specific request. I'm speaking on behalf of TCM, and we are interested in retaining what's called a medium-high density designation on 5 parcels. The APNs have been provided to staff. There's a letter, and we would like to work on the development and annexation of that site in the future, but we need to retain the existing designation of medium-high density. This is a very small site when you look at the 7,000-acre area. But this land use designation is one that we've been working on, not only with the city, with the county, and with LAFCO. And this type of housing is definitely needed. So we would appreciate, we did make a formal request. We'd appreciate consideration. Be happy to answer any questions. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, any other individuals who would like to speak in opposition? Or any other individuals who would like to just make a comment? Now is your turn. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and close all public comments. We'll bring it back to the city. If you can address some of these concerns.
Chair?
Yes.
we're going to ask staff to give a brief overview, but then we're going to ask for recess so that we can review and make sure that we provide you with accurate information as we respond to any specific land use changes that have been requested that may not be reflected in your packet.
Perfect, thank you.
Yep. Go ahead.
So what I have recorded as the commenters were speaking, mostly going to address what I heard in opposition. I've heard from 4 members of the community who have land use change requests, and so with the commissioner's permission, we could go ahead and take a brief recess and evaluate those requests.
We can do that. Let's go ahead and why don't we, it's 6:57. Why don't we resume at 7:10? Is that okay?
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. All right, everyone. It's currently, I know I said 7:10, but we're going to go ahead and resume the meeting. Yeah. All right, everyone. We're going to go ahead and resume the meeting. If everyone, can you please have a seat? Let's go ahead and wait for everyone to have a seat first. Okay. All right, thank you, everyone. I know I mentioned 7:10, but all right, guys, you guys ready? Thank you. I know I mentioned 7:10, but we ended up having a couple Diet Cokes, so now we're energized. So it's 7:08. Let's go ahead.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much for that time to review the requests. And so I'm put that back up a little bit. So each of these requests were in the handout that was provided to you tonight. So I'll review them through a bit of detail. So the first two speakers, Mr. DeLuca and Mr. Chilbejan, that correlates to request number 2 in your packet. So some information about this request is that it's 19.24 acres. Their request is to remove the neighborhood park designation. This is a parcel that is dual designated, which means that it has a park designation that sits on top while the underlying zoning is a different land use. And we do that when we have vacant property that has a park or public facilities land use in order for the property owner to still develop under the zoning designation. So the park designation, it acts as a sort of placeholder for the city to be able to bring that discussion up, to have an opportunity to potentially acquire park space, but that does need the consent of the property owner as well as city resources. And it should be noted that parks can still be developed in all residential districts. This particular request, if you were to make a recommendation for it, would not require further environmental review because we are not changing the underlying zoning. The next speaker was Mr. Singh. This is correlated to request number 5 in your handout. So this request was to go from a designation of residential urban neighborhood, the zoning for that is RM2, to a lower density designation of residential medium high, which the zoning for that is RM1. And this is a 4.23 collection of parcels, the acreage for that. So the request to go from RM2 to RM1 would result in a loss of about 59 units of housing capacity. And staff would suggest that NMX might also be considered for this parcel. The parcels to the south of it would be designated NMX or neighborhood mixed use under the specific plan. Both of those zone districts have the same minimum density, but neighborhood mixed use does not have a maximum density, so we wouldn't run into the housing capacity issues there. In terms of development, mixed use does have more design requirements where buildings would be near the sidewalk. So that is the primary difference between the RM2 and neighborhood mixed use. In addition to, you can still also do commercial uses in neighborhood mixed use. Either of these, RM1 or NMX, would potentially require further environmental review should you choose to recommend moving forward with that request tonight. And then Mr. Roberts had the last request, which is request number 1. So this is a request to change the planned land use designation from residential medium density to residential medium high. So the zoning would go from RS5 to RM1. This site is currently in the county, so upon annexation, it would receive that zoning designation. This request is actually to revert back to what the general plan already has, so it would not need further environmental review if you wanted to move forward with it, and it would result in a gain of 78 units of housing capacity on a 19.65 acre collection of parcels. So wanted to provide that additional information for your consideration, for your recommendations, and if you have any questions about the other requests that we've received, we can cover those as well.
Question for you on that dual designation for the 20 acres.
Yes.
If they were to sell that property, would they maintain that dual designation at all, or would it?
Yes, yes. So the land use would stay with the land, and the zoning would as well.
Questions? Yes, go ahead.
Hypothetically, if we were to recommend or request request 1, it would balance out in terms of housing units.
Request 3 would result in a pretty significant loss of housing unit capacity. Yes, so unfortunately, those would not balance out.
No, those would not. I'm looking at 5.
Oh, yes.
I meant 5, which would be a loss of 59, and then request 1, which would be a gain of 78.
Yes, correct. Yes.
I mean,
So that would result in a
additional study?
Request 5 potentially would, just because it is different from the specific plan and from the general plan.
So again, Commissioner, there's nothing that prevents you from recommending to the City Council to support any of the changes, the ones that were requested tonight or in your packet. It's just that some of them could require further environmental analysis. Yeah.
Do you have any questions, comments from the commission? Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, we're going to bring it back to the commission. Do we have any additional questions or comments? Yeah, go ahead.
I'd like to thank not only the staff for all their hard work on this, but all of the people that are in the audience and the ones that are not here tonight that have spent countless hours working on this plan. It is amazing, and there are so many things about it that are just, I mean, it's really going to change that whole community. And I look forward to seeing those changes. So I just want to compliment you all and thank you all for your hard work. And I look forward to seeing this come to fruition.
Thank you. So you know what, let me do this. Let me go ahead and I'll have each commissioner make a comment. Commissioner Lede, you're the looking one today? Go first. I was hoping you go first, but I'm just kidding. No, you're fine. You're fine. I'm just giving you a hard time. Commissioner Kreiner.
Thank you, Brother Chair. I echo the sentiments of my sister commissioner to see not only the turnout, but the consistency and the dedication over the longevity of this is incredible. The signs that are out, those that are handcrafted, those are cool, y'all. I want one, and I want to put it in my office. That's really neat. I love it. So I echo the sentiments, and it is my prayer that this community sees exactly what they've been praying and wishing for, because trust me, coming from a community that lacks, when you put one thing in that ends up sparking a movement and develops an entire area, I promise you, the generations that have that the shoulders you're standing on will applaud you up there for the work you're doing down here. Then the generation after you are able to walk on the streets that they were not able to walk on. So I applaud you, and I can't wait to see what he up there does next in that community. So congratulations to each of you for your work and your hard work, and especially for staffing for their consistency as well.
Thank you. So my comment's going to be, I know it seems like it's been 7 years in the making, right? And I think whenever you take on a project, we all agree that things have changed significantly in the past 7 years, right? So sometimes I'm such a firm believer that whether it's a positive event in your life or a negative event, we learn from everything too. And when you look back at it, hey, things happen for a reason, right? And I want to praise the city staff for their commitment involving and working with the community. Because tonight, honestly, when I prepared for this meeting, I expected a lot more strong pushbacks, but it seems like it's more little modifications, little tweaks there too. And that kind of shows me that our city staff is actually listening to everyone that is out there too and taking everyone's input into consideration. So, I feel really good about the plan. I do want to acknowledge, if we can have the steering committee, if you can you please stand up? Awesome. So what I want to do is I want to give everybody, if we can give them a round of applause. Okay. Thank you very much for all the work that you guys are doing, and city staff too, just because it is a big commitment. I mean, you guys work on this outside of your work hours, and the fact that you guys want to make a fundamental change for the future, I do praise each one of you too. Okay.
I just would echo what everyone else has said, but I do notice one thing that I really appreciate from all of you is you're not really focusing on what has been, but you're looking at what can be. And I think that's such a good attitude to have. And I think what can be on the West Side is a really great thing. So thank you again for all your work.
Commissioner Calandra, do you want to add anything at all? Okay.
Oh, you're done? Okay. No, great job. I was just finishing the review of everything just to double check and make sure I didn't have any questions. I think this is one of the best examples of the neighborhood and the city coming together and making sure everybody's needs are met, and good job. Thank you.
All right, with that being said, do we have any motions from the commission? Okay. Go ahead. Can you turn the microphone on, please?
To recommend to the City Council that they approve the environmental impact report and that we repeal the West Area Community Plan, the portion of the Highway City specific plan that is incorporated into this one. And then, let's see. Recommend approval with some exceptions to the planned use map. And I would like to recommend that they consider the requests of the applicants to the modifications and consider those carefully and make the accommodation for those.
You can do for all of them, or is there specific ones that you want to?
Definitely for one.
The request one, so that one is requested by Jeff
two,
Roberts.
I'm kind of torn. Can we discuss that one amongst ourselves a little bit?
Yeah, well, there's a motion on the table.
Okay, right, you're right. Okay, so then recommend request 3, request 4, and 5.
So 5 is your recommendation for the city, to change the zoning to NMX or to RM1?
I would like to see, well, I think the staff recommendation to NMX gives a lot of flexibility.
All right.
And then also recommend approval of rezone application E22-01353, which would rezone the property within the West Area Plan, but it would need to be consistent with any changes that are being proposed.
Do you want us to repeat those requests just to make sure that we capture every single one?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Okay. So that would be request number 1. Request number 3 to, no, not number 3. Number 4 to, wait a minute. Now I'm confused. Right. And not 3. It would be request number 5. And to the staff recommendation of NMX. And that would be the recommendation to the city council.
Okay, so can we get a,
So
for the record?
let's confirm. So essentially, a recommendation to city council of all of the actions that are listed in your agenda, modifying the recommendation number 4 and 5 to allow for consideration of request number 1 for approval as submitted. Request number 5 for approval as, with NMX, not RM1. Correct. And what was the last one? Because there were several numbers that were thrown out, so I just want to make sure. Well, let's get a motion on the table and then we can have discussion. So it was the third one.
It was number
2 on the park designation?
No.
Or number,
It was number 4.
number,
One, 3.
no, not you.
I think it's just 1 and 4.
I think it was 5.
1 and 5.
Yes.
Those are the 2 that you're,
No, there
are
was
in your motion.
a third. Okay.
All right, so we have a motion.
Yes.
Motion with these for the request of 1, that's coming from Mr. Jeff Roberts, and request number 5 by Mr. Singh to move to over NMX. Did we have a second? Or do you, any comments before we do the second?
Can you,
Sorry, we're just recommending adoption at the end of the day, and these are all just requests. Requests would ultimately just be requests to be considered, but they wouldn't be anything that we'd be putting in action. Why can't we just recommend for all the requests to be considered?
I would accept that.
Okay.
Okay, so
would
So
we?
council would review all of them.
Yes.
you'll have to go ahead and,
who was your second?
well, we
On
haven't
the
had,
motion?
we don't have a second
No
yet.
second.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, so you need a okay, so you can go ahead and revise your motion, since you don't have a
We'll
second, go ahead and
revise
revise
the
your motion.
motion for the Fresno City Council to review all of the requests that have been made. That, yes, to consider all of them. And to rezone as required by any changes they make.
Got it. And Commission, would you also recommend to add the technical corrections as described by staff in the presentation? There were 2 technical corrections.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, so we have a motion on the table from Commissioner Calandra. Do we have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Leday. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say no. Motion's approved to go to the City Council. Okay. All right, do we have reports from Secretary?
Invite Commissioner Shergill back up to the dais. I do have one report. I would like to ask Supervising Planner Rob Holt to share a report for the commission.
Good evening again, Chair Vang, members of the Planning Commission. Rob Holt, Supervising Planner. Just to provide an update to the Planning Commission per our code. So pursuant to Fresno Municipal Code 154303, planning staff shall notify the commissioners when a major revision to a map has been submitted. A revision was received.
Rob, can you hold on
Sure.
really quick? Excuse me, can you guys go ahead and make your way out the room, please? Thank you. My apologies, Rob.
No worries. So as I was saying, planning staff shall notify the planning commissioners when a major revision to a map has been submitted, and we did receive one regarding vesting tentative tract map number 6470. This was approved by the Planning Commission in October 16th of last year, and it is at the essentially northeast corner of the city of Fresno on Willow, just north of Alicante. It was a 194-lot subdivision, all public streets, and the revision includes the removal of 117 of those 194 lots, which will be the southern half of the subdivision, to be remained as an outlot when it goes to final map to record, which will include 77 lots from the original 194. The purpose of that, the applicant is wishing to come back with a different product and design that will comply with density still, but provide more lots with a future map that will have to be reviewed by the Planning Commission sometime in the future. And so we are just notifying you that this is occurring, and we intend to approve that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Do we have any unscheduled oral communications? All right, I see none. It's 7:31. Meeting is adjourned. Good evening.